First set of exercises I'm going to review with you are from for the foot. We're going to work the muscles in the leg to help the foot. Every muscle here attaches down here. These are the movers. So if you're going to move your foot down or up or in or out, you're using the muscles here. The most important ones I would say for bottom of foot pain is going to be on the back of the calf and the inside. And for the top of foot pain, it's going to be the shin. For the arch and the ball of the foot, we're going to work a little bit more in the deep calf. This is a standard foam roller. This is the trigger point grid roller, which to me is sort of the creme de la creme of rolling. You don't necessarily need any fancy vibration type rollers or the impacting rollers. They're nice and they're fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but just your body on a roller is fine. If you have one at home, I have a preference towards the firmer, more dense materials, so the black ones tend to be a little bit better. The multicolor ones, or the white or the blues and greens, they tend to be a little bit too soft to really adequately get into the muscle enough to do something about it. So a lot of people come in for plantar fasciitis or Achilles tendonitis. We're going to really target the back of the calf first. That's kind of the first area we target. You want to focus on the middle third of the leg. That's where the primary target's going to be. So if we go ankle to knee, we're going to stick with that middle third, and we're going to be behind the leg bone and just kind of work in the back. So what I do is I put the roller on the ground, and I put it right in the middle, and I'll cross one leg over the other. And you can, if you have shoulder issues, you can't really do much more than support yourself. You can lean up against a wall. You could do this in a chair or in bed and have your back supported. The best way to do it is probably to be on a floor like this and just sort of scooch back and forth, just small movements back and forth. I have this leg crossed over the other one just to create a little bit of leverage and help it dig in a little bit more. It gives it a little bit of a massage. With this type of roller where you have different textures to it, I would say the smooth part would be sort of like the palm of the hand. This would be getting a little bit deeper, and these would be like getting the thumb in there. These might be more like the fingers. So it just creates a little different depth, but you don't necessarily need this. Smooth works as long as you have the denseness to the material. So you want to cross one leg over the other, and you just kind of go back and forth, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. It doesn't really matter. I usually start right in the middle for about, say, 10 rolls. If it's a little bit sore, maybe I'll do a few more. And then my next step is going to be, I'm going to rotate on my hip a little bit. So I'm using my right leg, I'm going to roll to the left hip. The inside part of the back of the calf is the most important part. This is your tibialis posterior muscle that becomes the main tendon to support and stabilize the arch. And when this muscle gets tight, this is one of the main causes of plantar fasciitis and Achilles tendonitis. So you really want to target this muscle specifically. So I'm going to do it without crossing the leg over so you can see it well. But you want to get into about this position. When you cross the other leg over, it definitely adds another level of pressure in there, which can be a little bit sore. And if you really want to challenge yourself after a little bit, you want to prop yourself up in the air, and that gives even more leverage. I'm trying to keep my foot sort of relaxed. I don't want to be so tense and rigid everywhere else where the muscle isn't going to be able to relax. You really want to get to a point where the muscles are relaxed and you can actually move on top of it. If you do find a spot that's really, really tight and really painful and you find yourself just locked up and rigid, just relax, don't move, just get your breathing under control, do a few belly breaths, and just let things relax. And if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. And it's totally fine to just do that as you get kind of beginning with, get started with foam rolling. So a lot of times I'll roll back and forth, and then that's one move, or I'll just kind of hold it in one spot and then circle my foot. That's another move. So by moving my leg over the foam roller, basically massaging the muscle back and forth. By pinning the muscle on the foam roller and circling my foot, I'm actually taking the muscle and moving it underneath the foam roller. So they do very similar things, but in a slightly different way, and it really does a nice job of getting things to relax. So then once I get the inside, then I'll work more towards the outside. I don't spend too much time on the outside because there's not much going on out here, but I might just finish with 10 rolls, 5 or 10 rolls to the outside. The other thing to do is if you have a really bad knot and it's just really painful, sometimes I'll just roll side to side like this. Sometimes I'll call this rocking and rolling or circling back and forth. For people that do have a lot of problems with their shoulders, their wrists, their arms, and they can't really roll back and forth or leverage, or if it's just first thing in the morning and you're too tired to do anything, a really good thing to do is just rest your calves right on here, or just sitting at rest, just rest your calves on here. And I call them, dating myself a little bit, but I call it Shirley Temple. So with your feet, you kind of sing the song on the Good Ship Lollipop, and you do the hand movements like Shirley Temple would in the song. People who know Shirley Temple will understand. And you do it for as long as you can remember the song for. So a couple minutes and back and forth. And that's just a really good way to just kind of loosen things up again. First thing in the morning, getting out of bed, just kind of going side to side, crossed over. If it's just one foot that you have a problem with, you just go side to side maybe 10 times. You circle it 10 times, and then you're ready to go. So the next set of exercises we're going to show you is the outside part of the foot, the peroneals. The peroneal muscles, there's two of them. There's a longus and a brevis, long and short. On the outside, the long attaches to the inside of the arch, the short attaches to the outside of the foot. These are really important because they help stabilize that foot and working in concert with all the other muscles. So if you're going to relax one set of muscles but you're going to ignore the rest, you're neglecting a piece of the puzzle. So what I like to do is I like to target the peroneals, and here's where I can go a little longer than that middle third of the leg. I can go a little bit higher and a little bit lower. You have to be careful here not to be on bone. But I will just literally lay on my side like this, and I can put my arm down and I can prop my head up, or I can lay my head down, and I'm just going to go back and forth. If I can go up into a side plank, or if you can do that, and just roll, this is probably the best way to do it. Again, it's a little higher level exercise. You need to have some core stability to be able to do this. I'll show you facing. So you can lay down on your side. Again, you can find that spot and just kind of move forward and back, or you can prop yourself up and just roll like this. And the peroneals are sort of on the calf on the back. So your body's going to be pitched a little bit more back instead of front. Okay. So you got to stop that, but that's okay. No. So the last part we're going to get is on the shins, because we do want to get the muscles in the front. They're what help. Those are the muscles that help us lift the toes up and lift the foot up. Those muscles really run right here, so that's where you want to target it. There's a few different ways to do this, and I'll go through it right now. The easy way is lay on the floor and lay on it like this. Again, crossing one leg over the other creates leverage, and you can find a good spot, and you can just go side to side. You can, again, bring the foot up and down once you have the muscle, or you can go into a front plank and roll as well. All very effective. Another really effective way to do this is to go to a chair. You see that? Mm-hmm. Another really effective way to do this is to go to a chair. You can go right next to your bed, or you can do a chair in the kitchen or wherever, and you kneel on it, and then you just kind of roll back and forth like this. And you can put more weight on the muscles, or you can put more weight on your chest if you're flat on the chair here. I'm not doing it because of the armrest. Or if you're on your bed, sometimes I'll just lay on my bed and I'll put very little pressure on the muscles here.